Hey girl, listen, in all seriousness, if you're looking for something to help you curb your appetite, drop a few extra pounds, detox your body, and give you an extra boost of energy, then you might want to get on this tea and this NutriBurst. Drop down into the description box. The sales link is below. Dear Dineva, my husband and I have careers. I own a bakery and he's a dentist. We do okay. Anytime someone is in a bad financial situation, who do they call? Us. For small things like gas money to things like bail money, they call us because they assume we just got it. My husband has brothers and grown nephews, but he is paying lawn service to cut his mother's grass. Men don't cut grass no more. The family will put events together and will look for us to fund it, but try to make it look like we aren't funding it, but saying things like, we're just keeping the family tight. Or my favorite, family is all we got. I've even witnessed people get upset when they open birthday cards and we get them a gift card instead of cash. Anytime we attend a family function, someone is pulling either one of us to the side and is asking for money. It's to the point that we don't post dinner or certain outings on social media as much because someone will text us shortly afterwards about needing some kind of help. My husband doesn't mind helping to a point, but their ways are a bit one sided to me. These are the same people who left our wedding reception early to watch the basketball game or just had other plans. And when we counted our money after the reception, we had $220. What you think, Dineva?
Hey, daughter. Now, I chose to answer this letter because this type of behavior happens in the black community and in minority communities, immigrant communities, so much, and it boils my blood. This behavior is very abusive, especially this whole family is all we got and we just keeping the family tight. Let me tell you something. I don't mind the family is all we got narrative if all of the family is contributing to the pot. But when one person is constantly putting in and the other people are taking out, it becomes abusive. I know exactly what it is you're talking about, and gets a little personal for me. My sister called me one time, and she was complaining about something, and once again she needed something. And I said to her, I said, you know what? I want you to understand that in this family, you are the toxic family member. I want you to know that behind your back, every time you call somebody's phone, they roll their eyes and they suck their teeth before they answer the phone because they know that your ass wants something. And she had the nerve to say, well, it takes a village. It takes a village. And I said to her, yeah, I understand it takes a village, but bitch, what are you contributing to the village? Okay? Now, here's the thing, right? Because there's several things with this. Number one, this behavior is abusive. And a lot of elders, especially in the community, love to guilt their more successful children into feeling like they are obligated to share their money with you. And oftentimes people feel like because you're living a certain life and that your family members, that they deserve to live the same life that you live without making the sacrifices that you made. And for some people, maybe they did not have the opportunities that you had for whatever reason. But you should not feel guilty about that whatsoever. In this life, we all have our cross to bear, and your cross may not be mine. And just because I'm living in a mansion or I'm living in a skyrise and they're living in a shack over there does not mean my life is better, because you don't know necessarily what I'm going through. Yeah, I could be over here with all this money, but this man is over here beating my ass in silence. You never know. I will say this. You know, the old saying says, to whom much is given, much is required. I am of the belief that when you have a little more, it's your responsibility to do a little more. That's just called being a good global citizen. The one caveat to that, though, is you must always remain whole at all times. Your cup must always remain full. What's in the cup is for you. What overflow is for you to share with the world. There makes no sense, and I always say this particularly with my own family, we all can't be doing bad. I can't give to the point where I've now brought myself down economically to the level that y'all are on, because now that means we have nobody in the family that's able to help when some shit really goes down. I have to take care of me so I can always remain in this position to be the person to bail a bitch out of jail if needs be. That's number one. I've always shared this. Professor Mason taught me at Florida State University when I got my degree in economics in this class called African Americans in the Political U.S. Economy Today, that African Americans tend to pan out worse than their white counterparts economically, because we have this cultural obligation to reach back and pull everybody up, and it's just virtually impossible to take care of everybody. There are two examples in the media that really helped me with these types of issues. One is Iyanla Vanzant, who's taught me, y'all, boundaries are so important. Like, boundaries are truly important, and here's why. When you, in your mind, and it's not even something you have to express to other people, life gets far less stressful when you have drawn a line in the sand and you know what you are and are not going to do. And anything that comes my way by way of family that's on the other side of that boundary, I don't even stress out about it, because I've already made up in my mind those things like that I just can't do. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. The other thing that helped me, it was an episode of Keisha Cole's show that she had with Frankie and Nephew, and she was sitting down with her financial planner and going through her budget, and he saw these line items about how she was giving her family members all this money. And at the time, I didn't have any money, but this stuck with me. He said, it is all right to give your family money and to help out. He said, maybe you should decide on an amount that you are willing to give as charity monthly. And once that amount has been reached, you just can't do no more. Going to my earlier statement about boundaries, I have adopted that financial principle in my own life. In my mind, I have a number in my head that I'm willing to share with others. That's friends, that's family, that's homeless people, that's anybody in my life that comes into a hard patch. I have a number in my mind, a little piggy bank over here. This is what I am willing to share across this period of time. And I'm sorry, when people come and they ask me for things and I've exceeded that threshold, there's just nothing I can do. I've had friends very recently ask me for, can I have $125 to help out with a bill? Looking at me, knowing damn well I have $125. But the reality of the situation is I had to honor who I was, and I had to honor my boundaries and say, no, unfortunately, I reached my threshold of what I can do for charity because this person and that person and that person, they had accidents and incidences come up, and I have already reached my charity threshold for this time period. So I just had to tell this particular friend, I'm sorry, friend, at the time I do not have it, and I do not feel guilty about it whatsoever, because why? I have to remain in a position of being whole. The other thing that I want you to consider is that there is always going to be a stressful tug-of-war dynamic when you are somebody who is operating from a place of abundance and you are in the company of somebody who is operating from a place of lack, okay? Put simply, if you are around somebody who is hungry and they are starving and they have nothing to eat, and you sitting over here with a table full of food, it is foolish of you to not expect the hungry person to ask you for something to eat. It's just foolish of you. It is foolish of you to continue to occupy the space and the company of people who operate from a place of lack when you are operating from a place of abundance, and not expect them to want to take and beg and borrow and claw and ask. It's called self-preservation on their part. Okay, they want to get it by any means necessary, and not suggesting that all family members are lazy or people can't get out and get it. Some people don't have the capacity. Some people didn't have the opportunities that you had, whatever the case may be. But the reality of the situation still remains. If somebody is operating from a place of lack and you're operating from a place of abundance, there is a spatial mismatch between the way you two approach the world. My suggestion to you would be, find you another village. And I'm not saying abandon your family. I'm just saying tailor the amount of time that you spend with them. Your chosen family is just as important, if at not more, than the family that you were birthed into. Find you a group of people who operate from a place of abundance, much like yourself, who fill up your love tank, and that way you won't have to deal with some of these issues over here. Now, as it relates to your husband helping the mama out with the grass, listen, we've all got that situation in family where it's 5 or 6 or 7 damn siblings, and one person does the majority of the care. That's his mama. I personally don't see nothing wrong with him paying for the lawn service, especially if, and I know this is going to sound ignorant, but especially if y'all got it. Him paying that lawn service for the mama is not going to hurt him, and him helping the mama with the lawn service should not be predicated on how many able-bodied brothers, sisters that he got. Him helping the mama with the lawn service should simply be because he wants to. That's where it starts and stops. I hope this helps. You need some advice? Don't hesitate to write into me. Dear Dineva at funkydineva.com. Y'all stop letting the people take advantage of y'all and making y'all feel guilty about y'all money. Bah!